told us, get Calvin Ridley involved. They did on a huge third down conversion late. And then Travis Etienne, his best day from scrimmage as an NFL player. Jacksonville and Buffalo both 3-2 after the Jags beat the Bills in London 25-20. Hey, everybody. Welcome inside our LA-based studios. Hall of Famer Michael Irvin, Gerald McCoy, Steve Mariucci. I am Chris Rose. All right, Irv.
And I am the seer. I told y'all what was going down. I want to give these people just a little peek. When we started our meeting this week, I said, I'm going to bring this about Zay Jones. The producer said, no way, no Zay. I said, Zay Jones matter, and he'll make a huge difference. And he did. This young man, Calvin Ridley now. Zay Jones and Ridley, these two will be going together for a while down here in Jacksonville and do great things. You saw it right here. Big plays, I told you it's what they needed. 11 big plays. They were averaging 4 coming into the game. 11 big plays today. They're ready now, man. That Jacksonville Jaguar team looks right and complete now that they got Zay back in the phone.
We saw it, but you saw it first because you're the seer. But how about this guy? Trevor Lawrence, what a game he had. And yes, he's benefiting from adding Calvin Ridley to this team. But you know what? He came in the clutch. He threw for 315 yards and a touchdown. But they hadn't been all that good on third downs. And they're playing against the best defense in the league over here on third downs. And you know what? They converted 10 third downs out of 17, 8 by his arm on big plays at clutch times. Trevor Lawrence had a coming out party today. Hello, seer. I guess I don't see that.
What is up, YouTube? It's Coffee back at it. And man, Michael Irvin loves that he was right. And we all love when we're right, but you can just really tell he loves ishing on the Bills. You can see commentary-wise a lot of players. I notice it as a Bills fan, and I'm sure there may be other teams and fan bases that notice players that have a past versus their team, whether it be a playoff game, a divisional rivalry, a Super Bowl, or something of that nature. You can see it sometimes with these guys. And I mean, that's what it is. It's the NFL is competition on the highest level. It's a physical game. But Michael Irvin loving ishing on the Bills here. And real talk, man, I'm not discouraged by this loss. I'm not. There was all this talk of this being a trap game. And I guess it was. I guess it was indeed a trap game. But what a ridiculous game. I don't know how to really put it in words. Tap in everyone and let me know if you felt that as well. The momentum just seemed off. I mean, first off, I ain't crying about it, but it's just a fact, the whole jet lag aspect. I heard one of the announcers during the game saying, man, the Bills just arriving in London Friday. Obviously, Jacksonville played 2 games back to back there. This isn't a narrative that hasn't been addressed. It's pretty ludicrous that the NFL had it go that way, that Jacksonville plays 2 games there, stays there, adjusted to the whole time zone difference and everything like that. And you got the Bills flying out there Friday, definitely at a disadvantage. And then it's crazy too, because technically this was like a Bills home game. And it was kind of weird. I don't know if other people noticed this, that they were like trying to mimic the stadium and even some of the stuff they would play as far as the kickoff music, that for the Bills, which obviously the Bills are not where that song stemmed from, but the way the field looked, I don't know, it just felt like they were trying to mimic the home game conditions, the presentation, the way it all looked and everything, and it definitely wasn't a home game for the Bills at all by any means. But what a ludicrous game on so many levels. I thought the officiating was absolutely horrible. I mean, terrible. No consistency at all. There's some games where they're calling everything or they're letting guys play. It just felt all over the place in this game. There were so many flags at one point late in the game when the Bills had those back-to-back touchdowns to Gabe Davis where one got called off for a pass interference. They announced it real quick and you couldn't even hear what they said. The announcers were saying that like the fans drowned out the penalty call, and it was a shitty call at the end of the day as well. But just a tough break for the Bills. I'm, again, not discouraged by this loss. I think we'll roll out of this fine. I bet you there's going to be a lot of ish going on with Stephon Diggs where he, was emotional and mad on the sidelines frustrated again. Those narratives are going to start going crazy, as we've seen that be the case with Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen, and the Bills time after time, where individuals are trying to make something that's not really there, other than the fact that Diggs is a competitor. He don't hate Buffalo. He don't hate his quarterback. Like, stop it. But I'm sure those narratives will start back up. And man, what a bullish fine he got hit for with that Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration against the Commanders. Absolutely ludicrous. But the thing I'm really paying attention and worrying about is these injuries. Is Matt Milano going to be okay? A guy that has been the heart and soul of this defense. Other players as well, but Milano's really been out there just doing it big. Like, teams have had no answer for this guy, and for him to leave, it's a knee injury. I don't know how it's looking. Hopefully, he's okay. We just put Trey White back on the injured reserve once again. And, he was a guy that just fought to get back to where he was prior, being that number one shutdown corner. And there's been a lot of talk over this past week, with all this trap game talk. Another big narrative was, what do the Bills do? Do we try to go out and get Patrick Surtain or do something of that sort, signing someone, making a trade or something like that? And then, with Trey White being on IR back to back, there's questions about his future. What's going to happen? Will he be the same guy after this physically? Could this more or less end his career, as to come back one time from that kind of injury is tough, but twice it's like, God damn. But then his contract comes into question, and there's Bills fans out there like saying, yo, we got to do the tough thing and cut him. And I don't think that's going to happen. I don't want to see that happen, but at the same time, it's just a real tricky situation. But as a Bills fan, that's the number one thing I'm like looking at here, I'm worrying about, is the defense, these injuries. What's going to be the outcome? What injuries are serious? What aren't? Because our defense, top notch. And to come into this game and to have all these injuries, and for the game to go the way it went, dealing with jet lag and adjusting to being overseas, across the pond, and then all these injuries. It's just terrible. It's just rough. But with that being said, the Bills still fought hard on the defense as well. Epinesa was a guy that was out there tipping a lot of passes, finally got a strip sack. I knew we were due for some kind of turnover or something like that, but ultimately, we really just couldn't find our rhythm and capitalize. Like I said, it was just a weird game. It just felt off. I don't really know how to put it to words. So once again, please, everyone, join the discussion in the comments. Share your takes on the game. Bills fan or not a Bills fan. I know Dolphins fans are out there rejoicing after we just spanked them, but it's tough. You lose against the team that that you truly are better than. But I don't want to take things away. Ridley, oh my goodness, out there, that guy was clutch. Trevor Lawrence made, 10 third down conversions, got the ball out pretty quick, did what he needed to do to win the game and to move the chains. Late in the game, I don't understand why, as we went for an onside kick there and almost came up with it so close. I wanted us to go for the onside kick, the kickoff prior to that. It's like wild the way the end of the game went, with Josh Allen throwing those bombs, those Hail Marys and stuff like that. That last touchdown was like a 45-second, 90-something yard or 70-some yard drive. And then on that very last possession where we got the ball, I don't, this is a video where I'm not really digging in too much with my research. I'm just kind of coming on here and just venting, I guess. When we did get that last possession with the ball, whoever that was that caught the pass, that fumble, I don't know if he tried to lateral. That's what I think it was. I think he tried to lateral it. I wish he would have just went down. I mean, obviously getting out of bounds would have been ideal, but he couldn't, just go down, rush to the line, either throw a Hail Mary or spike the ball. It was such a weird game, the momentum being off all game. And then at the end there, just kind of being like a Josh Allen highlight reel, just going out there and throwing the ball around. It felt like it could really happen. It was just one of those weird games. And that's kind of something today that I wish the Bills would have did is more or less let Josh Allen cook, which has been something early week one and at times in that Jets game where Josh seemed to be in his head and trying to do too much. And then what we've seen from him the past few games being on fire and looking great fundamentally and all that today with it just being such an odd game. I wish they would have just let Josh go out there and cook and wild out, so to speak. But a play that really was tough and shifted the momentum in a big way was that jump ball, that interception that the Jaguars came up with. I thought Diggs had that, man, but that was a big tide turner. But then the momentum ends up back in our favor as well. But other than that, I don't really got much to say. Again, I'm not tripping about this loss. I don't know, just a ridiculous football game with some other things to go over. Zay Jones out there with the Jaguars, former Buffalo Bill. Y'all remember the way it went down. He tried to jump out of a window butt ass naked and everything like that. And shortly after that, his time was over in Buffalo. He was out there, made some big plays and made a big heads up play as well on a fumble, batting the ball out of bounds. Travis Etienne, or however the fuck you say his name, had a big game, picking up quite a bit of rushing yards. I believe they said it was his best game in the NFL from scrimmage, or maybe I'm wrong about that. But if you saw on one of his touchdowns, he actually mocked Josh Allen with the finger roll celebration. Another thing for the Bills, Cook, who's been coming up big, -5 yards today. So that's an ugly statistic as well. Josh Allen passes Jack Kemp for rushing touchdowns, obviously for the franchise, and continues to push along on that all-time list as well, just in the NFL. Stephon Diggs, another 35th touchdown, receiving touchdown as a Bill. He keeps pushing up the all-time list as well. But I don't know, man. I don't really got much more to say. Just an ugly game that I'm not tripping off. Again, the NFL, this whole London thing, the back-to-back games for the Jags there. Again, not crying about it, but it's just stupid in such an analytically driven league when it comes to scheduling and everything. I'm sure everyone sees those commercials that come out about how they use AI and have this big mothership computer that compiles all this data together to put together the best schedule. It's like, how do you come up with that? How does AI know that ain't some bullshit? You know what I mean? But that's all I got, more or less. Just wanted to open the floor, the comment section, and hear everyone's thoughts. And again, the main thing I'm paying attention to is hopefully injury-wise, we come out all right, man. It's tough, especially. It's always tough seeing these guys go down, not just as a fan, just seeing guys' careers possibly get cut short or people being hurt. Von Miller out there on a snap count as well. Limited time out there on the defense. Thought maybe you would have seen a little more with the way things went, but back to what I was saying about the injuries, it's always tough seeing guys go down, whether you're a fan of them or not. But I'm just pointing out the way this defense was rocking and rolling. We saw what a difference it made. A lot of the things that the Jaguars were able to do, it's just tough. So hopefully we come out all right on that. Look forward to talking with everyone in the comments. Go Bills. Once again, I ain't tripping. It's Coffee signing out. Make sure to subscribe if you're new. We talk music, news, sports, current events, life, and much, much more over here, guys. I'm gone. Peace.